In the remote village of Eldergrove, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, an ancient church stood resolute against the ravages of time. The structure, with its crumbling stone walls and weathered wooden doors, whispered secrets of the past to those who dared to listen. On a stormy night, as thunder rumbled ominously in the distance, a small team of archaeologists gathered at the site, compelled by a strange signal that had emanated from deep within the earth, an inexplicable pulse that beckoned them closer like a siren song. Dr. Elena Carter, the passionate lead archaeologist, felt a thrill of anticipation coursing through her veins. For years, she had dedicated her life to unearthing the mysteries of ancient civilizations, yet nothing could have prepared her for the events that lay ahead. She stood at the entrance of the church, her breath visible in the cool night air, holding a handheld device that displayed the strange readings. The screen blinked erratically, the numbers fluctuating wildly as the signal intensified. "It's coming from beneath us," she declared, her voice a mixture of excitement and urgency. Beside her, Marcus Reed, her skeptical assistant, frowned at the readings. "This could be interference from the storm," he cautioned, his brow furrowed. "We need to be careful. We don't know what we're dealing with here." His concern was palpable, a stark contrast to Elena's unbridled enthusiasm. The tension in the air thickened, charged with the weight of the unknown. Sarah, a local historian and member of the team, stood a few steps back, her heart heavy with a personal connection to the church. She had grown up in Eldergrove, playing in its shadow, her childhood filled with stories of the ancient structure's past. It was a place of solace where she had sought refuge during difficult times. Now, as she looked at the weathered stones, she felt a strange tug at her heart, a sense that the church held more than just memories. "We have to respect what we find," she murmured, her eyes scanning the darkened interior. "These walls have seen so much." With a nod of agreement, Elena turned to her team, which included a few other archaeologists, a military liaison, and a geologist. Each member brought their expertise, but there was an unspoken understanding among them. This discovery was unlike anything they had ever encountered. The military presence nearby added a layer of urgency, a reminder that their findings must remain classified. "Nothing can leak from this site," the military officer, Major Thompson, had insisted earlier, his tone stern. "We don't know what we're dealing with, and we can't afford to create a panic." As they prepared to explore the hidden chamber, the air crackled with anticipation. Elena led the way, flashlight in hand, illuminating the darkened path ahead. The team descended into a narrow stairwell that spiraled down beneath the church, the stone walls damp and cool to the touch. Each step echoed in the silence, a reminder of the weight of history pressing down on them. The further they descended, the more the air seemed to thrum with energy, a resonance that sent shivers down their spines. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. A low hum filled the chamber, vibrating through the very ground beneath their feet. Elena paused, her heart racing. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, glancing back at her team, who looked just as bewildered as she felt. The sound seemed to pulse in time with the strange signal, a rhythm that beckoned them deeper into the darkness. The team reached the bottom of the staircase, and as they emerged into the chamber, they were greeted by an astonishing sight. An intricately designed machine sat at the center, its surface adorned with symbols that glowed softly in the dim light. The air around it shimmered, as if charged with an energy that was both inviting and foreboding. Elena's breath caught in her throat as she approached the artifact, her fingers trembling with a mix of awe and trepidation. "Is this?" Marcus began, his voice trailing off as he joined her side, his skepticism momentarily forgotten in the face of the extraordinary. "What on earth is it?" "I don't know," Elena replied, her eyes wide with wonder. "But we need to find out." She reached out a cautious hand, her fingertips just grazing the surface of the machine. As if awakened by her touch, the object responded with a blinding light, casting dancing shadows across the chamber walls. The hum intensified, resonating with their presence, as if acknowledging them. A wave of emotions washed over the team, overwhelming them with a sense of connection they could not explain. Sarah gasped, clutching her chest as memories of her childhood flooded back. The stories of the church, the whispers of the ancients, the feeling of something greater watching over them. "It's like it knows us," she breathed, her eyes shimmering with tears. Elena stepped back, her heart racing. "What is this? Why does it react to us?" Questions swirled in her mind, but one thought loomed larger than the rest. They were standing on the precipice of a discovery that could change the course of humanity. Yet, with that realization came trepidation, the fear of the unknown, of what they might awaken. As they stood there, grappling with their emotions and the gravity of the situation, Major Thompson's voice broke through the tension. "We need to be careful," he warned, his eyes narrowing as he surveyed the machine. "This could be dangerous. We don't know what it is capable of." The military presence loomed, a reminder of the fine line they were walking between exploration and containment. "Without risk, there's no progress," Elena countered, her resolve strengthening. "We have to understand what we found." The tension between science and security crackled in the air, each member of the team feeling the weight of their choices. Just then, the machine began to emit a series of rhythmic pulses, each one resonating with the team's emotions. The lights flickered, casting an otherworldly glow that highlighted the intricate symbols etched into its surface. The atmosphere thickened, charged with anticipation and fear. It was as if the machine was responding to their very presence, recognizing something deep within them. Elena took a deep breath, steeling herself. "We need to document everything. This is a historic moment," she declared, pulling out her camera to capture the phenomena. As she focused the lens on the machine, she felt a strange warmth wash over her, as if the artifact was inviting her to delve deeper into its mysteries. But the moment of discovery was shattered by Marcus's voice, filled with urgency. "Elena, wait! We need to consider the risks. We don't know what we're dealing with." His skepticism surged back, fueled by a mix of fear and concern for their safety. The military's presence weighed heavily on him, a reminder that they were not alone in their exploration. Elena paused, torn between her insatiable curiosity and the reality of their situation. She turned to her team, searching their faces for guidance. Each member seemed caught in their own internal struggle, grappling with the implications of their discovery. As they exchanged glances, a silent agreement formed, a shared desire to uncover the truth, even at great personal risk. "Let's proceed cautiously," Sarah suggested, her voice steady despite the uncertainty. "We have to respect this place and whatever it holds." Her emotional connection to the church resonated with the others, grounding them in the moment. With a collective resolve, they approached the machine once more, slowly reaching out to touch its surface. As their fingers made contact, the world around them shifted. A soft humming filled the air, growing louder with each heartbeat as the machine pulsed in rhythm with their emotions. It was a moment of recognition, a bridge forming between humanity and the unknown. Suddenly, the chamber was flooded with light, and a holographic projection erupted from the machine, engulfing them in a cascade of colors and images. The team watched in awe as scenes of humanity's past, present, and future unfolded before their eyes. Ancient civilizations rose and fell, their stories woven into the tapestry of time. The machine unveiled a cosmic narrative, revealing the interconnectedness of all beings, an intricate dance of life, love, and legacy. Elena stood transfixed, her heart pounding as she absorbed the revelations. "We've been observed," she whispered, realizing the magnitude of their discovery. The machine had been waiting for this moment, for humanity to reach a level of compassion and understanding. It was a call to unite, to embrace the unknown as allies rather than adversaries. As the hologram began to fade, the team felt an overwhelming sense of purpose wash over them. They had uncovered something monumental, a piece of the cosmic puzzle that held the key to their own evolution. In that fleeting moment, they understood that their journey was not just about discovery. It was about connection between themselves, their past, and the universe. The chamber dimmed as the machine's light receded, leaving the team in a profound silence. They exchanged bewildered looks, each grappling with the weight of what they had witnessed. The air was thick with unspoken questions, yet a sense of understanding lingered among them. A shared bond that transcended the boundaries of fear and skepticism. In that sacred space, they stood together, united not only by their quest for knowledge, but by a deeper understanding of their place in the cosmos. The ancient church, with its crumbling walls and whispered secrets, had become a vessel for transformation, an invitation to embrace the unknown with open hearts and minds. The chamber remained steeped in silence, the echoes of the machine's illumination fading into the dimness of the ancient stone walls. Dr. Elena stood at the forefront, her heart racing with the thrill of discovery and the weight of responsibility. The air around her felt electric, charged with an unseen energy that seemed to pulse in time with her own heartbeat. She turned to her team, gauging their reactions, sensing a mix of awe, fear, and wonder. Marcus, her assistant, stood rigid, his brow furrowed in skepticism. "We need to be careful, Elena. This isn't just an artifact, it's a potential weapon or something worse," he cautioned, his voice barely above a whisper, as if he feared the chamber itself might overhear him. The gravity of their situation was not lost on him, yet he couldn't shake the thrill of the unknown. He had devoted his life to understanding the past, but this was something that transcended all his expectations. Sarah, the local historian, stepped closer, her eyes wide with reverence. "But what if it's more than that? What if it's a key to understanding our existence? This church has always felt sacred to me, and now it feels as if it has a purpose beyond our comprehension," she replied, her voice trembling with emotion. She had spent countless hours studying the church's history, but never had she imagined it would lead to such an extraordinary moment. Elena nodded, feeling the weight of Sarah's words. She had always believed that archaeology was about uncovering the stories hidden beneath layers of time. But now she sensed that this discovery was about to rewrite those stories altogether. "We have to understand this machine," she said, her determination igniting. "It's a gateway to something larger than us." The team huddled together, the flickering light from the machine casting elongated shadows on the damp stone floor. Elena could feel the conflicting energies in the room. The military presence outside loomed like a dark cloud, a reminder of the stakes involved. "We need to document everything," she said, her voice steadying as she took charge. "Marcus, set up the equipment to record any further activity. Sarah, start analyzing the symbols on the machine. There may be a language we can decipher." As they began their work, the tension in the chamber grew palpable. The sound of distant thunder rumbled outside, mirroring the storm of emotions swirling among them. Each member of the team was grappling with their own fears and hopes, their individual motivations coalescing into a shared purpose. They were not just archaeologists anymore, they were explorers on the brink of a monumental revelation. Elena knelt before the machine, her fingertips brushing against its cool surface. The symbols were intricate, unlike anything she had encountered in her years of study. They seemed to shimmer under her touch, a response that sent shivers down her spine. "It's almost as if it's alive," she murmured, mesmerized by the patterns that danced before her eyes. The machine exuded a warmth that contrasted sharply with the chill of the chamber, inviting her to delve deeper. As she traced the symbols, a deep hum resonated from within the machine, growing louder as if responding to her presence. The sound enveloped them, a soothing vibration that filled the air with a sense of calm amidst the uncertainty. Marcus, monitoring the readings, looked up, his expression shifting from skepticism to cautious excitement. "The energy levels are fluctuating. It's like it's reacting to us," he said, his voice laced with disbelief. "Can you capture it?" Elena asked, her eyes alight with determination. They needed to document this phenomenon, to understand it before it spiraled out of their control. Marcus nodded, adjusting his instruments, his fingers flying over the controls. The machine pulsed in time with the hum, a rhythmic dance that seemed to synchronize with their heartbeats. Suddenly, the chamber trembled, and a flash of light burst forth from the machine, illuminating the room in a spectrum of colors. The team staggered back, the brilliance overwhelming their senses. Then, as quickly as it began, the light coalesced into a holographic projection, casting images across the stone walls. Visions unfurled before them, celestial bodies in orbit, ancient civilizations flourishing, and a timeline of humanity's evolution intertwining with the cosmos. The air thickened with the weight of history, a tapestry woven with threads of connection. They watched in awe as the images shifted, revealing glimpses of humanity's struggles and triumphs, the rise and fall of empires, and the moments of compassion that defined their species. Is this a history of Earth?" Sarah gasped, her eyes wide. The grandeur of the hologram captivated her, drawing her deeper into the narrative that unfolded. Each image felt like a memory, a testament to the resilience of humanity. But there was something more, an underlying message that beckoned them to look closer. Elena felt a knot tighten in her chest as a scene materialized. A depiction of a gathering of beings, their forms indistinct yet radiating a sense of unity. They stood together, looking toward Earth, their expressions filled with hope. "This is not just our history," she realized, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's a call to action." The hologram shifted again, revealing the machine at the center of an ancient civilization, pulsating with the same energy they felt now. "They were connected to it," Marcus murmured, his skepticism fading as he took in the implications. "It's like they knew this moment would come." As the holographic narrative continued, a new scene unfolded, depicting a cosmic phenomenon, a celestial alignment that illuminated the night sky. The beings gathered, their hands raised in unison, channeling their energy toward the heavens. The machine pulsed in response, and Elena felt a surge of emotion wash over her, as if they were witnessing a ritual of hope and connection. This machine was a beacon," she concluded, her voice trembling with realization. "It was meant to guide us, to remind us of our greater purpose." The weight of her words hung in the air, a challenge to their understanding of existence. The light from the hologram dimmed, replaced by the soft glow emanating from the church's cross above them. It flickered, responding to the energy in the chamber, casting a warm light that felt almost alive. The juxtaposition of the ancient symbol and the advanced technology struck a chord within Elena, bridging the gap between faith and knowledge. As the last images faded, the team stood in the aftermath, breathless and awestruck. The machine, now quiet, seemed to settle into a dormant state, as if it had fulfilled its purpose for the moment. Elena looked at her team, their faces reflecting a mixture of wonder and realization, a shared understanding that they had crossed a threshold. "What we've witnessed is beyond anything we could have imagined," she said, her voice steady yet tinged with emotion. "This machine is not just a relic, it's a reminder of our potential, our connection to each other and the universe." Marcus nodded, a spark of excitement igniting in his eyes. "But what does it mean for us? What happens next?" he asked, the weight of the discovery settling in. They were on the precipice of something monumental, and the uncertainty loomed heavy. Sarah stepped forward, her voice filled with conviction. "It means we have a responsibility," she said, her gaze steady. "We have to share this knowledge, to make sure the world understands what has been revealed to us. We can't let fear dictate our actions." Elena felt a swell of pride for her team, their diverse perspectives combining to form a unified purpose. "We need to document everything," she agreed, her voice gaining strength. "We'll gather our findings and present them to the world. This is a call for unity, for understanding. We can't shy away from our role in this cosmic narrative." As they began to organize their equipment, a sense of urgency propelled them forward. The military presence outside remained a looming threat, but the revelation they had experienced felt like a beacon of hope, guiding them through the uncertainty. The ancient church, once a relic of the past, now pulsed with the possibility of a brighter future. With each passing moment, the weight of their discovery deepened. They were not merely archaeologists unearthing relics. They were custodians of a message that transcended time and space. The machine had chosen them, and they stood at the forefront of a new understanding, ready to embrace the unknown with open hearts. As they prepared to leave the chamber, Elena paused, turning back to the machine. It had awakened something within her, a connection that transcended the physical world. She could feel the pulse of the universe, a reminder that they were all intertwined in this grand tapestry of existence. The echoes of the past resonated within her, and she knew that their journey had only just begun. With determination in her heart, she led her team out of the chamber and into the unknown, ready to face whatever awaited them. They had awakened something profound, and the journey ahead promised to be as transformative as the revelations they had already uncovered. The world was waiting for their story, and together they would share the message that had been whispered through time, that humanity was not alone, and that love and compassion would light the way into the future. Elena stood at the mouth of the chamber, her heart racing with a mixture of exhilaration and trepidation. The air was thick with unspoken possibilities, and she could almost taste the weight of history pressing down on her. She turned to her team, their faces illuminated by the soft, eerie glow emanating from the ancient machine. Each of them held a different expression: wonder, skepticism, hope, and fear, all wrapped into one. "Are we really going to do this?" Marcus asked, his voice low but edged with urgency. He crossed his arms, shifting his weight as if to ground himself against the swirling uncertainty. "This could be dangerous. We don't know what we're dealing with." Elena's gaze flicked to Sarah, who had her eyes closed, as if she could feel the energy radiating from the machine. She had grown up in this village, surrounded by stories and whispers of the church's past. To her, this discovery was not just an archaeological find. It was a connection to her roots, to the legends that had shaped her childhood. "Marcus, we can't turn back now," Elena replied, her voice steady but laced with emotion. "This machine, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. We owe it to ourselves to understand what it is and what it means." She felt a surge of determination swell within her. What if this is the key to understanding our place in the universe? "Or it could be a Pandora's box," Marcus countered, his brow furrowing. "We should think this through. The military is already on edge about this discovery. What if we awaken something we can't control?" The tension between them crackled in the air. Sarah, sensing the divide, stepped forward. "I believe this machine has been waiting for us, for the right moment," she said, her voice soft but resolute. "It's not just a relic, it's a part of our shared history. We need to approach it with reverence and curiosity. We can't let fear dictate our actions." As the three of them stood there, an unspoken understanding began to form. They were at a crossroads, faced with the choice of retreating into the safety of the familiar or stepping boldly into the unknown. Elena took a deep breath, her resolve crystallizing. "Let's proceed, but with caution. We'll document every step, And if anything feels off, we'll retreat." The team nodded, their expressions shifting from doubt to a shared sense of purpose. Together, they descended into the chamber, the air growing colder as they approached the machine. The intricate patterns on its surface seemed to pulse gently, almost as if it were breathing in sync with their heartbeats. Elena reached out a hand, her fingers hovering just above the machine, and the moment she made contact, a surge of energy coursed through her. A blinding light erupted from the machine, illuminating the chamber in a kaleidoscope of colors. Shadows danced along the walls, twisting and turning as if alive. The low hum that had filled the air crescendoed into a symphony of sound, vibrating through their bones. Elena gasped, overwhelmed by the profound connection she felt. It was as if the machine recognized her, reached out to her very soul. "Did you feel that?" Sarah exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "Yes," Elena replied, her heart racing. "It's responding to us." The machine's energy pulsed in rhythm with their emotions, and as they stood there, trapped in the moment, they experienced a flood of memories and sensations. Laughter, sorrow, joy, and longing merged into a swirling tapestry of human experience. They were no longer just observers, they were participants in a cosmic dance. Marcus took a cautious step back, his skepticism battling against the undeniable evidence before him. "This is incredible," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "But what does it mean?" Before anyone could answer, a holographic projection flickered to life above the machine. The images were ethereal and mesmerizing, showing glimpses of ancient civilizations thriving under the watchful gaze of distant stars. The team watched, transfixed, as scenes of humanity's past unfolded before them. They witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the beauty of art and culture, and the shared struggles that defined the human experience. As the holographic narrative deepened, they saw their own history intertwined with that of the cosmos. Elena felt tears welling in her eyes as she recognized the connections, the shared joys and sorrows of humanity echoed across time and space. The machine was not merely a relic, it was a bridge to understanding their place in the universe. "We've been observed," Sarah breathed, her voice trembling with awe. "For millennia, we've been watched." "Yes," the machine seemed to whisper, its voice resonating deep within their minds. "You have been chosen." Elena's heart raced as the implications of those words sank in. They were not merely accidental discoverers, they were participants in a grand design. Chosen for what? She wondered aloud, her voice tinged with urgency. The holographic images shifted again, revealing a vision of vibrant galaxies swirling in a cosmic dance. They saw the intertwined destinies of Earth and other worlds, civilizations rising and falling in a rhythm that echoed throughout the universe. The machine projected symbols and images that illuminated a profound truth. The essence of humanity was connected to something far greater than themselves. As the projections faded, the chamber fell silent, leaving behind an electric tension in the air. The team stood in awe, grappling with the weight of their newfound knowledge. "What do we do now?" Marcus asked, his skepticism replaced by a deep-seated curiosity. Elena glanced at her team, their faces reflecting the light of the machine, a light that transcended mere technology. "We have to share this with the world," she said, her voice steady. "We have a responsibility to tell this story, to invite others to join us in this journey of discovery." "And what if they don't understand?" Marcus countered, his brow furrowed with concern. "What if they fear it?" "We can't let fear dictate our actions," Sarah interjected. "This machine has shown us that we are not alone. We have to embrace this moment, share our truth, and invite others to see the beauty in the unknown." Elena felt a swell of hope as she listened to her team. They were beginning to grasp the significance of what lay before them, not just as scientists, but as ambassadors of a new era. "We will document everything," she said firmly. "We'll prepare our findings, and when the time is right, we'll unveil the truth." As they turned to leave the chamber, a gentle pulse emanated from the machine, wrapping around them like an embrace. Elena felt a warmth radiating through her, a reminder of the connection they had forged. It was as if the machine understood them, recognized their courage, their vulnerability, and their desire for knowledge. Emerging from the depths of the church, the team stepped into the stormy night, the rain falling softly around them. The world outside felt different, charged with the energy of possibility. In the distance, the flickering lights of the village shone like stars, a reminder of the lives woven together in the fabric of existence. As they walked back to their temporary base, Elena turned to her team. "We've awakened something profound tonight," she said. "The machine is not just a relic of the past, it's a beacon for our future. It's a reminder that we are part of something greater, something that transcends time and space." Marcus nodded, his skepticism fading with each passing moment. "I never thought I'd say this, but I agree. We have a responsibility to share what we found, to inspire others to look beyond the horizon." "And what about the military?" Sarah asked, her brow creased with concern. "They'll want to control this." Elena paused, considering the implications. "We'll have to approach them with caution. We need their support, but we must also protect our findings. The world is not ready for everything we've discovered, not yet." As they reached their base, the weight of their discovery settled in. They began documenting their findings, taking care to preserve every detail of the machine and its connection to their shared history. The atmosphere was electric, filled with the anticipation of what lay ahead. Days turned into weeks as they prepared to share their findings with the world. The team worked tirelessly, fueled by a sense of urgency and purpose. They reached out to experts, scientists, and scholars, eager to engage in conversations that would challenge the boundaries of understanding. Then, the day arrived when they gathered to present their discovery to a select group of leaders and thinkers. The room buzzed with anticipation, the air thick with the weight of expectation. Elena stood at the front, her heart racing as she prepared to share the story of the machine. As she spoke, she watched the expressions of her audience shift from skepticism to intrigue. The holographic images flickered to life behind her, illuminating the room with a cosmic narrative that transcended language. She could see the wonder in their eyes, the dawning realization that they were standing at the precipice of a new understanding. "This machine is a bridge," she declared, her voice resonating with conviction. "It connects us to our past and invites us into a future where compassion and unity reign. We are not alone. We are part of a larger tapestry that spans the cosmos." The room erupted into discussion, voices overlapping as ideas flowed like a river. Elena felt a surge of hope as she witnessed the power of their discovery unfolding before her. The world was awakening to its potential, and they were at the forefront of this transformation. As the meeting concluded, Elena stepped outside, the cool night air wrapping around her like a cloak. The stars above twinkled with promise, a reminder of the vastness that lay beyond. She knew their journey was far from over, in fact, that it had only just begun. They had awakened something profound, a connection that transcended the physical world. The echoes of the past resonated within her, guiding her steps as she led her team into the unknown, ready to face whatever awaited them. The universe was calling, and together they would answer. As Elena led her team deeper into the chamber, a palpable tension hung in the air, thick with anticipation and uncertainty. The low hum of the mysterious machine pulsed rhythmically, intertwining with the echoes of their footsteps against the cold stone floor. The shadows cast by their flickering flashlights danced like phantoms on the walls, creating an otherworldly atmosphere that both intrigued and unnerved them. An ancient tapestry of secrets lay before them, waiting to be unraveled. The machine loomed larger than life, its complex design etched with intricate symbols that seemed to shimmer under the beam of their lights. Each glyph appeared to pulse in sync with the hum, as if responding to their presence. Elena's heart raced with a mixture of exhilaration and fear. This was no ordinary archaeological find. She could almost feel the weight of history pressing down on her, urging her to understand its significance. "Look at this!" Marcus exclaimed, pointing to a section of the machine that appeared to be a control panel, adorned with buttons and dials that had long since lost their labels. The skepticism in his voice was laced with awe. "What do you think it does?" Before anyone could respond, as if sensing their inquiry, the machine emitted a series of low-frequency sounds that resonated through the chamber. The vibrations reverberated in their chests, causing them to pause, caught in a moment that felt suspended in time. The air grew electric, charged with an energy that stirred something deep within each of them. Elena raised her hand, instinctively reaching out toward the machine, her fingers trembling with anticipation. "It's responding to us," she murmured, drawing closer. Sarah moved beside her, instinctively placing a hand on Elena's shoulder, grounding her in this moment. "Be careful, Elena. We don't know what it's capable of." But the pull of curiosity was too great. With a deep breath, Elena pressed her palm against the cold surface of the machine. The moment she made contact, an explosion of light erupted from the core of the device, illuminating the chamber with a brilliance that momentarily blinded them. Gasps escaped their lips as the air around them crackled with energy. "What the hell?" Marcus shouted, instinctively stepping back, but Elena remained rooted to the spot, entranced by the unfolding spectacle. The light dimmed gradually, revealing a holographic projection emerging from the machine's center. Wisps of energy coalesced into a swirling form that took on shapes and images, depicting scenes from a distant past and future. The team stood frozen, their eyes wide with amazement as they beheld a cosmic narrative unfolding before them. Visions of ancient civilizations flashed through the hologram, people engaged in rituals, their faces lit with joy and sorrow, their lives woven into the fabric of existence. A beautiful city, sprawling and vibrant, appeared, its architecture a blend of organic and technological marvels. Elena felt her heart swell at the sight, a deep connection forming with these long-gone souls. The holographic images shifted, revealing the Earth from above, a blue and green jewel suspended against the vastness of space. The view zoomed out, showing the planet surrounded by celestial bodies, shimmering like diamonds against a dark velvet backdrop. The machine pulsed gently, synchronized with the rhythmic beat of their hearts, as if it were alive, aware of their presence. Then the hologram focused on a singular moment, an image of the cross hanging above them in the church, its wooden frame glowing softly, resonating with the energy emanating from the machine. Elena's breath caught in her throat as she realized the significance of the connection. The cross, a symbol of faith and hope, was intertwined with the very essence of this ancient technology. Tears welled in Sarah's eyes as she whispered, "It's beautiful," her voice trembling with emotion. The images continued to morph, showing humanity's evolution, its struggles and triumphs woven together like threads in a tapestry. The histories of countless civilizations converged, all underpinned by a shared desire for understanding, compassion, and connection. Elena felt the weight of their discovery pressing down on her, the enormity of it all crashing over her like a tidal wave. They had stumbled upon something that transcended mere archaeology. This was a revelation, a call to unite in the face of adversity. "We were never alone," she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper. "We are part of something much bigger." Suddenly, the images shifted to a series of symbols that glowed brightly, each one resonating with a different frequency. They were familiar yet alien, a language that spoke to the very core of their beings. As they watched in rapt attention, the symbols began to rearrange themselves, forming a message that resonated through the chamber. Compassion is the key. Marcus stepped forward, his skepticism momentarily forgotten. "What does that mean?" he asked, his brow furrowed in confusion. "What are we supposed to do with this?" Elena's mind raced, piecing together the fragments of knowledge they had uncovered. "It's a warning and an invitation," she replied, her voice steadying as she spoke. "This machine, this technology, it was designed to awaken when humanity was ready to embrace empathy and connection." As the hologram continued to cycle through visions of humanity's potential, Elena felt an overwhelming sense of purpose wash over her. This was their moment, their calling, to act as stewards of this profound knowledge, to guide humanity toward a brighter future. Just then, the machine emitted a low, resonant sound reverberating through the chamber. The cross above them began to glow brighter, illuminating the room with a warm golden light. The connection between the machine and the religious symbol deepened, intertwining their destinies in a way that felt sacred. Elena turned to her team, her gaze fierce and determined. "We have to share this," she urged, her voice infused with conviction. "The world needs to know what we found. This is a chance for humanity to evolve, to embrace love over fear." But Marcus hesitated, his skepticism resurfacing. "And what about the military? They won't let us share this. They'll want to control it, weaponize it." "The military doesn't understand what we've awakened," Sarah interjected, her voice strong. "We can't let fear dictate our actions. This is about more than just us. It's about the future of our planet." Elena nodded, feeling the unity among her team solidifying. They were bound by a shared understanding, a recognition that they had been chosen to carry this message forward. "We have to approach this with compassion," she insisted. "If we act out of fear, we risk losing everything we've discovered." As the machine continued to resonate with their emotions, Elena felt a surge of energy coursing through her. It was as if the very fabric of the universe was urging them to embrace their destiny. The light from the cross enveloped them, and they found themselves in a moment of pure connection, transcending the physical realm. In that instant, they understood the true purpose of the machine: to awaken the dormant compassion within humanity, to bridge the gap between the known and the unknown. They were not just witnesses to history, they were active participants in the unfolding story of existence. The holographic images shifted once more, revealing glimpses of humanity's potential. They witnessed a world united, where borders dissolved and differences were celebrated. People reached out to one another in love and understanding, their hearts intertwined as they faced the cosmos together. It was a vision of hope, a future where compassion reigned supreme. As the projection began to fade, Elena felt the weight of their discovery settle upon her. The machine had spoken, and it was now up to them to carry its message into the world. They had awakened something profound beneath the church, a mirror reflecting the soul of humanity, urging them to embrace the unknown with love and courage. The moment hung in the air, suspended in time, as they stood in awe of the possibilities that lay before them. They had been gifted a glimpse into the true nature of existence, a cosmic invitation to step into a new era of understanding. Elena took a deep breath, her heart swelling with hope. "We're not just archaeologists anymore," she said softly, her voice steady. "We're ambassadors of a new dawn." As the light from the cross gradually dimmed, the chamber returned to its shadowy embrace, but the echoes of the machine's message remained, resonating within each of them. They were forever changed, bound together by a shared purpose that transcended the confines of their individual lives. With newfound resolve, they began to plan their next steps. They knew the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were ready to confront the unknown, fueled by the light of compassion that had awakened within them. Together, they would carry the message of the machine into the world, inviting humanity to join them in embracing the cosmic dance of love and connection. As they emerged from the depths of the ancient chamber, the storm outside had begun to clear, revealing a sky full of stars. The universe shimmered with possibilities, and Elena felt a profound sense of unity with all that existed. This was just the beginning, a new chapter in the story of humanity, where the lessons of the past would guide them toward a brighter future. They were ready to answer the call of the cosmos, to explore the depths of their own humanity, and to embrace the unknown with open hearts. Their journey had just begun, and the world was waiting.